How often do you get asked about being involved in the ice
I
cream?
just told Eddie that I was in there the other day and I said, it doesn't matter where I go. People ask me, and I always say, I wish we are distant.
More distant than that. I've heard the kids don't even do this now. Doing it, I can understand it. Recorded and streaming. You were dead on the record, so.
Alright. Now we just wait.
Yeah. 1 minute.
1 minute. And in case you didn't catch that, Terry, talk fast.
Oh, okay.
Hey, I got 7:30, so we will call this January 10th, 2022 council meeting to order. And Brian, we will start tonight, as customary with council, with prayer and the pledge. Our Father,
who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
I pledge
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Agenda technically says swearing in of council members, but because we had a special council meeting before this one, we've already done that, so we can move on to the roll call.
Foreman,
Present.
Keller,
Present.
McCreary,
Present.
Schaffner.
All right, we have 4 council members, we can have a meeting. But before I begin, Debbie, welcome. So as we roll along, I know when Rick came on, we didn't really have much of an orientation. It was a trial by fire.
Yep.
And then Brandy, it got a little bit better. Hopefully. I know you had a chance, we communicated and met with Terry, so hopefully it's getting better. But as we roll along, the questions pop up, how things, why things, you know, the only dumb question is the one not asked. So just pipe up and say, wait a minute, I don't know. And
Another acronym.
Oh,
yeah,
I just glossary.
okay, good deal. So we'll move on to approval of the minutes of December 13th. However, I'll ask that we just bypass that until the next meeting because we'd only have 3 votes for it. 1 abstention at the next meeting. Well, shoot, we'll have the same thing.
Same thing. Yeah, I'll move that we accept the minutes as printed. For a second.
Second, all right. Roll call.
Foreman. Okay, McCreary,
Yes.
Keller,
Yeah.
Foreman, and Schaffner. Everything.
It's a majority.
Yeah.
Yep, it's a majority, so we'll call it good. I looked them over as well and didn't see anything, so. Yeah. Other than the spelling error, they just pop up.
Yeah.
I can make that correction if you have spelling error.
Spelling error would be a scrivener's error, so you don't have to move to amend it or anything.
Okay.
You can just correct the spelling.
Okay. Where was it at?
It's Hankinson.
Oh, okay.
So if you do a search, you'll find it.
Okay.
It occasionally gets an extra N in there.
It was,
Yeah. All right, so next will be approval of the agenda. I am not aware of any amendments.
I move that we accept the agenda and print an email now.
Okay, second. Discussion. Roll call.
Foreman,
Yes.
Keller.
Yes.
Curry.
Yes.
Schaffner.
All right, we have an agenda. First item is visitors. There's no one left in the room and no one online but Terry, but just for the record, before the meeting, Commissioner Jeff Hicks came in to give us a couple of updates on what's going on with the county, some grant opportunities and some different things they are working on. And so we will move on to village administration reports, my report. First, I hope everyone had a good holiday and it's time to get back to work. And unfortunately, we're all back to work. I did mention, the only thing I'm going to bring up, I mentioned with when Commissioner Fix was here, that the commissioners in December passed a resolution amending the definition of a hotel with for the purposes of the lodging tax, the bed tax within the county. I had heard about it, but I thought it was up for discussion. I didn't know they were voting on it. It kind of goes along. We've got tabled ordinances that deal with Airbnbs, but my intent was never to tax the Airbnbs within the village, and this actually does a tax on it. I don't know that the tax or the entirety of the tax is legal because part of it goes to the Decorative Arts Center, and the bed tax is solely for the purpose of funding visitors bureaus. I love the Decorative Arts Center, but I don't want any of our businesses taxed if it's an improper tax.
Right.
The other issue is the resolution does not include a provision about returning money to the municipal corporations. If we do not have our own bed tax and the county collects one from us, they have to return a portion of it to us, and that portion cannot exceed 33 and a 30%. But their resolution doesn't direct what percentage would be returned to us for that which is collected from within the village. So based on the conversation before the meeting with Commissioner Fix, I anticipate a call from the county attorney to discuss that. Short of that, we had the special council meeting. I will work on committee assignments. We'll have a reorg meeting. We'll just do it at 6 o'clock on the 24th. No, I don't think there's any reason to come in early for it. We can just do it at 6 o'clock and then start our committee meetings right after. With Debbie and Darla coming on, I want to talk to you about interests and try to align and just get an idea for committees and stuff like that. And with that, I'm trying to beat my record. So unless anybody has questions for me,
I do have a question.
Yes.
Okay, the last thing you talked about the state law Zoom meeting, there might be a law.
Yes.
Have you heard anything yet?
It is still pending in our legislature because they like to do a whole bunch of stuff in like between Thanksgiving and Christmas and then not go back to work until like so it is still pending. But I do have my tracker on it. I do know that there are a lot of municipalities throughout the state that are very interested in getting that passed.
Okay, I don't know if I should state this now or later, but I want to go on record that as long as I can't vote, I don't want to pay. Okay? So at the next meeting, if I'm in Florida and I can't vote because of the law, I don't want a paycheck.
Oh, a paycheck, okay. I wasn't sure what you meant. So you don't want to pay, I'm thinking pay what?
Wait, I thought I don't want to say. Okay, got it.
But when you say it like that, Chuck, it sounds like we're paying you for your vote.
No, well, I'm
Well,
here to
let me-
represent the village.
Are-
If I can't vote on things,
Are you still going to join the meetings?
yes.
Then I think you should be paid because you will still join the meetings. You will provide input to the meetings.
You just can't vote.
You just
I
can't
can't.
vote.
Well,
I think if you are participating, you deserve to be compensated for that.
I'll think about it.
Okay. All right. Any other questions? All right. Terry, I'll turn it over to you.
Okay, great. The first thing I would like to report is on our staff. Going into 2022, we now have a full staff. Last Monday, Scott Oliver joined our staff. He comes to us from Madison County Sanitary Sewer and Water District. He has extensive background in heavy equipment operation and has been on many water breaks because he also holds a Class 2 water license. So Scott reports directly to Tim, and then we have him dot line reporting to Joey because we want him to maintain his water 2 license. So he started last week and he already is in the process of getting his CDL. So glad to have him on board. On the 18th, Dylan Reimer will be joining the Tim's team also. He works in a similar position in another village, and he has decided he wants to make a career change. We're looking forward to him starting on the 18th. And again, he has background in fixing leaks for water and for sewer issues. We found Barb's replacement. Her name is Terry Beardsley. She formerly worked or is leaving the Ohio Division of Securities in Columbus, where she provided confidential, administrative, and executive support to that enforcement section team. She will be reporting directly to me, but she will also be dot lining to Chief Tussey, because to start with 4 hours each week, she will be going to the police department to work on paperwork, which she has very knowledgeable background in. So I think it'll be a big help for us all. The last position I had to fill was the one that we talked about for land and buildings, which is kind of a newish position, but maybe not a new position, just a redefined position. On that position will report directly to me, and Peg is coming back to be a part of our team again. Part of the duties now will include some zoning responsibilities and et cetera. So I'm glad to have Peg back on the team, and that rounds out our team. So going forward into 2022, we now have a full team. I think the quality of people that we were able to employ is top notch. This morning, I finished submitting the grant to the Fairfield County Foundation for the swimming pool. This is a grant for those improvements that we had, that the Parks and Rec Committee had looked at and approved. So I'll be hearing from that within the next week on whether that grant comes through. That grant will be partnered up with a couple of other grants to get the funding that we need to make those improvements at the pool. I got notification on Friday that I've been appointed back to the OPWC board, and per Debbie and Brandy's requests, I'm trying to make sure I say what these are so they know what we're talking about. So OPWC stands for Ohio Public Works Commission, and that's where we're getting a grant for Park Drive, and we've also applied for a grant on Granville and Water. So this will be on the interim committee, and then from there they'll elect the executive committee. We are in the process of redoing the paperwork for that Park Street grant, and we're going to go out to bids for that within the next couple of weeks. So as soon as those go out to bid, I'll let you know. If you remember last year, we couldn't do this project because everybody had too much on their schedule. So nobody bid on it. So I want to be first in this year. So we're getting that paperwork around to be able to send that package out for bidding. Last, I want to talk about the paper mill. This morning, I met with my operator of record as well as the team and had a discussion over events that have taken place in the last couple of weeks. None of them I was happy with and my team was frustrated with. I then had a meeting with Brian Coughlin, who is our engineering firm that is handling, who we selected per EPA's direction, not to Brian, but to get an engineering firm. And so today I made the decision to send an email to Greif and have them to cease discharging to our collection, into our collection system. I sent the email off and within 15 minutes, I got an email back from the plant manager, which said they were in the process of shutting down. So on Wednesday, we'll be meeting with them as a whole, along with my team. I will be back in the office then. We just have some issues that we have to discuss and we have to understand what's going on. I have Mr. Little on the line tonight. I know Brad is currently in COVID protocol. So I asked Mr. Little to join in case you would have any questions. We can't really go into, I mean, the mayor tells me to talk fast. That's hard to do on this subject, but I want you to be able to ask questions. We will know more after our meeting on Wednesday with Greif, and then Brian Coughlin and myself and the team will be having a meeting with the EPA then in the upcoming weeks. So by the next council meeting, I will have more detailed information for you.
The long and short of it is, since they started dredging their pond, we've been having issues. And all of the different metrics that they have that we monitor, dissolved solids and a whole bunch of acronyms that I don't even remember at this moment, but everything that they are sending to us that we monitor, that for our agreement with them was going to be limited. Some of them, the readings are higher by an order of magnitude. So 10 times higher or more on some of them. Not to mention that the flow that they said they would be sending us is increased. And when they started dredging, they said, well, you'll get a little bit of flow and then you won't have anything for a couple of days. And instead of getting, what we would expect, 90,000 gallons, we're getting 160,000 gallons constantly. So hence that reason, and it's causing a whole bunch of problems. So when I talked to Sarah today, not only that, but because that we have our EPA permit, but their EPA permit, when they changed over the process to go to us, is based on us accepting. So we did also notify our EPA rep that we were doing this, so that they know. But yeah, everything was way out of whack. And if I recall our contract, there will be financial penalties for it as well for us.
Turning them off isn't really an option in our contract. Is that correct? That isn't really one of the remedies to the problem.
It's not something that we can do overnight long term, because they then have to go back and get another permit.
Right.
And I want to make it work if we can, because it is a sizable chunk of change that then goes back in to us to be able to do that. But if we're going to have this problem every year, every other year, we have to evaluate, is that sizable chunk of change worth it? Hopefully we'll know more after Wednesday.
Right. And the one-off event that's happening that's out of the norm of the process is their dredging of their lagoons. So, and that's what is giving us the issues. So, Mr. Little, do you have anything that you would want to share also, I mean, can you hear me,
He's
Mr.
muted.
Little?
He's muted.
He's muted.
Oh,
No,
there
no.
you go.
No, you're right, spot on. Yeah, everything we're seeing right now is just because of the dredging. It's gotten thicker, and it's just causes multiple problems there.
Right.
So we going to do a process. We started today. It'll finish tomorrow, and hopefully we get 2 more membranes up and going with a different kind of clean than what we've done before. Not different, just the process is different.
Correct.
Moving
I think-
forward, shouldn't we consider requesting that dredging occur in like August or July when we have lower rainfall and warmer temperatures? Because this is probably the worst time of year when we could have possibly had them dredged. Is that correct?
Yes, and it wasn't, if I recall that meeting, though, it wasn't our choice. It was one of those, hey, we're going to start this.
Yeah, it was.
Yes.
Yeah,
And if I don't recall from the last meeting, I remember that comment.
Correct.
but they haven't, because I sat in on that Zoom meeting for a part of it. Part of the issue is what they said they would do as part of dredging. They haven't done pretty much any of it. But yeah, in the future, and it might be, might be a revision to the contract. If you're going to dredge or potentially do this, we need X number of days notification, and we're going to restrict it to August, where we get the least amount of rain and stuff like that. That's a very good idea.
And my understanding is also that when we figured the BOD, we took their average BOD, divided it out over 12 months and said, this is what our normal BOD limits would be, where historically they have had extraordinarily higher BOD in December, January, and February than they do throughout the rest of the year. So it's like ours assumes a steady, even flow year round, when in reality, that is not what has really ever happened at the Fairfield. That their BOD in December, January, and February is always much, much, much higher than it is in the warmer summer months.
It is, but I know when we talked about it, because one of the figures we asked for was their maximum BOD and stuff. Honestly, I couldn't tell you right now if their BOD would probably exceed their prior permit too.
Right.
Because it's so high.
And because they're dredging, and
Yes.
because it's winter, and because all these numerous other things. But yeah, it sounds like our contract wasn't necessarily written to meet the reality on the ground.
Well, I think
I'm not sure that I agree with that, Mr. Foreman.
yeah, I think it was written based on the information we were provided
Correct.
during what I would call good faith negotiations. What is materializing is not
At all the same.
at all the same.
Correct.
So yes. Again, I would anticipate some form of contract change if we're not going to shut them off.
Which is necessary for both parties.
Exactly.
So it's just, we have a mutually beneficial and mutually necessary relationship.
Excuse me, can I ask just a couple questions? McCreary? So in terms of long-term and short-term implications, and maybe this is too much that I'm asking, can you kind of clarify a little bit, long-term, how this is going to affect our system?
I think to tell you the truth, Brandy, that's not something that we can tell you right now
Okay.
because we're not sure what the long-term effect is. Right now, we know the short-term effect is that it's slowing us down and it's putting us into overflow events.
Mhm.
So as far as long-term, I'm not sure yet.
Are we able to find out from the manufacturer of our filter media if they are operating a plant anywhere in the world processing discharge similar to or the same as what Greif is?
Yes, we have been in contact with the membrane company who has a plant that does do paper mills and is also a membrane, and we're getting some information from them. Is that correct, Mr. Little? Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I was on the phone with them today for about an hour and a half. Same situation. So,
All right. So again, at the next meeting, we'll have more information about that also.
That's
And,
correct.
and just to follow up on Brandy's question, I guess, we don't know the long term, but I guess when you're talking with the other clients, I guess I'd want to know the long-term implication on the membranes. We just spent $500,000 to get these membranes that we hope will last for 10 years.
Correct.
Is it going to shorten their life expectancy?
And paper pulp is dramatically different from one mill to another mill. So they may be the same in some regards, but they may be polar opposite in other regards.
I'm taking notes. Thank you.
Okay, I got some questions here. You say you're bringing Peg back. What kind of raise are you bringing her back at?
We had budgeted for, I'm sorry, you mean pay range?
Yeah. So what,
Oh,
what kind of wages are you getting to the new employees?
Peg will come, Peg is coming back. Can we say that in public meeting? Yes,
Yeah,
Peg comes back at $20 an hour.
How much?
20. That is what we had budgeted after our conversations last year. Brian budgeted that position at 20.
What was she getting when she quit?
I believe, was she 18, Brian?
No, she was $14.71 roughly.
No, Brian, she wasn't $14.
Yes, she was.
The funny part about that was when she told us she was leaving, I had Terry ask her if we got her close to 20, if she could stay.
I know, but that's a heck of a raise.
It is. However, it's also less than what she was making with the job she went to.
Well, I can't, anybody can move around,
You can also go make $18 an hour at Arby's right now.
I know $20
I know.
no grass and clean wrestling, that's pretty good pay. So,
Well, and the lands and grounds is going, that is a lot of it, but there's a lot of other stuff we're adding on to it as well.
Yes.
okay, what are you paying the other two employees, Scott and Dylan?
Okay, Brian, do you have those figures in front of you?
I want to say, wasn't
We're bringing Scott on at $22.50 an hour. And then it's after 6 months, we're, it's going up, what, 50 cents?
Yes, 23.
And I think Dylan was like
he was like 21,
21.
or maybe he was 20.50 and going up to 20.
That could be too.
He was in
It was roughly that.
Okay, but I know when we did on the budget, when we talk about wages,
Mm-hmm.
so what kind of wages did we give everybody this year?
Well, we did the adjustments for everybody with the licenses,
Yeah,
and then 3%.
so everybody got 3% in? Harry?
Yes, that's my suggestion. I haven't did that yet. That's not that I don't have the authority to that. I was going to ask for counsel to, on your new business, to give a 3% increase to our staff, knowing that cost of living is 5% increase, plus they have the increase in the insurance. So the request was going to be for a 3% increase for those already on staff, not for the new hires.
Okay. It just seemed like you bring back somebody with a big increase. That's just fall to my mind.
Welcome to the current workforce environment.
I could not, correct. I could not have found the person that I would hire if their name wasn't Peg would have been around that amount. Yes, Mr. Keller. I mean, yes, Mayor, that's true. Welcome to the current environment.
So Dylan's at 20.50. What was Tyler at when he left?
Tyler was just under $19.
Yes.
Okay, and we're throwing the black with the new budget in.
Yes,
And I know when we talked about it,
that is correct.
we plugged in 3%.
That is correct. I got it right. I mean, I can pull it up right here.
But the budget that we passed
Had those,
well, and had these
Had-
positions figured in at $20 to $25 an hour.
for instance, I had budgeted for Tim's assistant upwards close to $30 an hour. And he's coming in at 22 and a half.
Who is? Oh, you talking
Tim's
about-
assistant.
Okay, yeah, I don't know him.
I mean, I didn't know what kind of pay range, so I just went the high end on the budgeting. And so I was budgeting upwards close to $30 an hour for people coming in.
Okay.
And we're coming in, of course, way under that, so.
Yes, so we're under what we budgeted for.
Even though it's higher than what we have been accustomed to paying.
Well, I know when we left,
Yeah.
I think the last meeting we left, I think was,
I know.
one was in red,
Okay, I will show you that right now.
and I'm gonna ask you when you come up.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up, but as soon as it comes up, here it is. There it is. You slide that over. As you can see, I have updated. Where are we at? There we go. The general fund is still in the black. And all those other funds, I have updated this as of last Thursday or Friday. As you can see, we're still under budget. We're okay on the street fund, we're okay on the water fund, we're okay on the sewer fund. We even got some cushion now on some and a couple of these funds. Or something catastrophic. Yeah, catastrophic. That's what I was trying to think. We have a little wiggle room to maybe increase some appropriations to take care of that. Yeah, as long as the revenue streams are coming in as they've been too.
Well, I know you said because we still
Yes.
had a couple more weeks in
Yes.
December.
And that came out to people, yeah. The sewer debt, I used to pay off 2 OPWC loans, one each for sewer, one for water, and we still have ample cushion there too. So, looks like as long as the revenue streams keep coming in, we'll be able to pay maybe a couple more off.
Before we go back to Brian, correct? Anybody got anything else to carry?
Yeah, I guess so.
Barry, you got anything else?
Yeah, that's all I have in my report, sir.
All right, I would just like council to not hold Terry's 23 minutes to get to my time.
Too bad. Too bad.
Oh, my God.
All you. Yep.
All right,
Landis still rules the
yeah.
roost here record wise.
All right, Brian, what you got?
Just a brief discussion on I have the bank and the books of Red America out. I have not posted it yet because if I do, I can't go back into the prior year and make some changes. Like today, I had an invoice come in. I had to go back into 2021 and reissue some kind of a then and now purchase order to pay that obligation to charge it against the 2021 appropriations. So that's one of the reasons why I have not posted it, because once I post the reconciliation itself, I can't make any more changes to anything to 2021. Just to give you the bank and the book we ended up with a $2,214,582. That's what we ended up with, a cash balance at the end of the year. I'll have more on the reconciliation next month, of course. We had one outstanding deposit that got kind of a little complicated because it was a credit card receipt, and with the new Municipay, with people can pay online, part of that credit card receipt that I got cleared on December 31st, and part of it didn't clear until January 3rd, and that threw me off. I was like, oh my God, And that's something I've always had to live with. With this new way of people paying their water bills through Municipay through the website, that could happen. I could probably also give you a brief one more report. If you want to know how many dollars we spent last month in checks. And then I have one more slide for you, huh?
Oh, okay.
I can tell you, let's see, there it is. Last month we wrote $415,000 in checks last month. That's all payroll. The biggest one was $186,000 OWDA to retire the debt. Another People's Bank retired debt, that was $10,000. Paid, South Central was 11,600. Of course, 200 of that is Holder Road. The rest of it is the sewer plant. It went up a little bit again. Dell Marketing, we paid for all the licenses. That was close to 10 grand for the Office 365 licenses. We have one more year of that. Those were some of the big expenses. But you'll see the full check register next month. And the last thing I had was this spreadsheet right here, the Appropriations Report. As soon as I get it over there, we go. General fund ended up being 90% for the year. These are all adjusted numbers because we also reallocated some monies to pay for the people's vacations to get us online to starting January 1. Street construction ended up 56%. The biggest chunk there is, of course, capital outlay. We saved all those road paving projects. They're going to be going on this year, and it has been budgeted for. The water fund was at 72% for the year. Sewer fund, 92% for the year. Pool was at 91%. And 90% for storm sewer, and the grand total for all funds was 88%. So, of what we budgeted.
Full reports to come at the finance meeting.
Yes, full reports at next month's finance meeting. Yes.
Any immediate questions for Brian? All right, Jeff.
No new legislation on the agenda for this evening. 2 tabled ordinances that need to stay tabled because there's been no public hearing yet on that legislation. That's all I have.
Move on to council committee reports, which there are none since we haven't had the reorg yet. Finance and rules will meet in February. February 14th, that'll be the first meeting we have in February, and then service and safety will actually meet 2 weeks from now, January 24th, starting at 6 p.m. We'll do a reorg meeting at 6 p.m. as well to do all the committee assignments and adopt the council. So move on to public safety reports. Chief.
Thanks, Mayor. We ordered ammunition last year and it never came in because nobody could get ammunition. So we ordered again this year and they actually had it in stock. Unfortunately, it's gone up about 26%. But we have that order, should be in by the end of the month. We're gonna have to do some repairs to car 2. They were on the way out to Alt Park to check the gate, and a deer decided to be a great time to run out in the middle of the road. Fortunately, we have big push bumpers on there, so that's all it's really damaged. Probably an unbolt and repair. Car 1, there's a trim strip that runs by the A-pillar that for no apparent reason blew off the car. And we took it down to Ford. They said that is a common malady with those Explorers. They just blow off, and it's not a very good sign. Had lockdown drills at the high school today. Those were successful. There wasn't any real issues with those. We are starting a background on a potential new officer. If this guy works out, then that only leaves us down 3 positions that we do not have filled. And currently, we have 0 applications for any of those 3 spots. And finally, we are into our Beard for Bucks once again. You may have noticed. So what we do is we take donations in May 1st. Then we take 100% of what we raise and we donate that to the Lighthouse, which is a women's shelter for Fairfield County, women that have been abused or trying to get out of a domestic violence situation or whatever. So if anybody would like to donate, checks are made out through the Lighthouse, and we'll pick those up, and then we do a presentation at the end of the year, and that's all I have. And I think I was the least of anybody except for maybe Jack.
Any questions? All right, no fireboard report. Move on to committees and commissions, planning and zoning. We have a meeting next Thursday, I believe. This Thursday. Huh. Figured out. Have a meeting this Thursday. We're planning on using the first meeting of the year to refocus, set priorities. There's a couple of public hearings that have to be held through that committee, as well as some updates that want to be done. So I'm just going to use that with the commission to kind of talk about priorities for the year, so that we can be focused going forward. Moving on, any questions? Sorry, any questions on planning and zoning? All right, tree commission. I don't know that we have an update. Records commission, we got to have a meeting. We'll be setting one here first half of the year. We got to have a couple a year. We'll be able to get some records destroyed.
I've already boxed up what needs to be. I just got to take inventory of it, but when I get time.
Okay. Moving on then. Any motions? All right. Moving on. No first reading, no second reading, no third reading. We have the two tabled ordinances. Waiting for public hearing. The idea there is once all of council is back, since it is a council public hearing, to make sure we can identify it to date where all or most of the council can be present for that public hearing on those ordinances. So then,
I have one question about the motion. Do we need a motion on the pay raises?
want to do that? Well, anybody have any old business? All right, new business, pay raises. Carrie mentioned during hers that she'd like a motion to give everybody 3%. I think it's something we'll probably end up looking at again later in the year, because 3% is less than inflation this past year. So even with 3%, everybody is going to end up making less this year than they would last year, thanks to inflation being higher than what the 3% is. So that's something we should probably look at. But if council wants to make a motion to go ahead and do 3%, or you could even do 5%. I mean,
How much did the insurance work for?
Depends on what plan they chose. If they chose plan 1, it went up like 25 to 26%. They chose plan 2, it was 18 or 19%.
Oh, I'm sorry, Brian, what were the numbers again?
If they chose plan 1, up 26%.
Okay.
Up to close around 26%. If it's plan 2, up roughly 19%. 18.
They're taking a look down on
Yes.
yes. So, and then whatever percentage you choose, I would ask that you backdate it to January 1. It's going to take a little bit of work for Brian, but that way it becomes effective January 1 when they started work this year.
Now, if we did, would this include, the new hires are set at what they are, so any percentage increase we do now is only on existing employees?
On existing employees, yes.
On anyone that was, I guess to be clear, in your motion, you should say employed December 31st, 2021, and still employed.
Yes.
Before we make a motion that we give the employees employed December 31st and still employed a 5% increase.
McCreary, second.
Discussion. All right. Roll call.
McCreary,
Yes.
Keller,
No.
Schaffner,
Yes.
Foreman,
Yes.
3-1, Jeff.
Yeah.
Passes. All right.
Thank you.
Brian, for our finance meeting in February, add that in so we can see on the budget, since We looked at 3%, but we also had other higher, just so we can see where that's at.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Any other motion? Or I guess we're at new business. Any other new business? Terry, you're coming back Wednesday?
Yes, Wednesday morning will be my first day back in the office. I'll be driving back on Tuesday tomorrow morning.
All right. I'll have Debbie leave the tablet here. If we can get ABC in Wednesday or Thursday of this week to do whatever they need to do with it.
Yes.
So that next week, we can get it to her, and if we need to schedule time with ABC to go everything, so that by the 24th, she's fully up and running on that. I'd appreciate it.
I will do that, and then I also will get Mr. Hankinson's computer. Also, that one we can redo.
Yep.
Terry,
Yes.
I think it was Mike from ABC sent me an email about the phone system, the new phone system in our building. And I think they're coming down one day this week, so maybe.
Oh, this week, yeah?
That's what I understand.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Well, we'll be ready for him. I'll have all this stuff around for Debbie's pad.
Yeah, and you mentioned if we can get Bob's back if he hasn't dropped it off already, that way they can do it at the same time because Darla will need it as well.
Right, right. Okay.
Much appreciated. Any other new business? No visitors here? Anybody have any last? Oh, I know we're all rushing home to watch the SEC title rematch. I like football, but I'm not watching the SEC game again.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Second. Second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Hearing none, 4-0. We are adjourned at 8:15. Not too bad. Terry took up most of my time, Bill.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice evening.
Thank you.
No.
Safe drive back.
I'm going down and
Debbie, welcome aboard
I'm
again.
gonna go down and send
And,
you.
Randy, welcome back aboard.
And I'll send you an email about the raise for those guys.
All right, so yeah, we'll just leave that there. Oh, yeah, stop the shit.